5080 Ti Switch 2 specs get fully detailed, and Intel, the B770. Stay tuned. Let's get into the hot news, everybody. I'm your Brett host. We're going to be going over the hottest tech news I can find on the internet while you enjoy your breakfast this Thursday, May 15th, 2025. As a reminder, we have giveaways going on over on our Twitch channel, twitch.tv/UFD Tech or twitch.tv/UFD Music. Both will be listed in the description below. We've got a 5090 PC on UFD Tech. We've got a 9070 XT PC over on UFD Music. Love to have you over there. You can go check it out in case you're interested in participating in all of that. And some people might be interested in participating in a higher VRAM amount, RTX 5080, so long as the price doesn't get ridiculous. But that is apparently coming off the backs of the RTX 5090D getting banned, as its exporting to China is now cut off. So the 5090D replacement has to be significantly stripped down. According to this latest report, the 5090D Mark II looks to have a significant reduction in memory speed, has a significant reduction in cores, and a significant reduction in total memory amount. So it'll lose roughly 1/3 of its cores, it'll lose 1/4 of its memory, and a significant amount of its memory bandwidth. But that would put it in a very strong spot to be elevated above the RTX 5080 and have the VRAM amount that was being discussed for the RTX 5080 Super or 5080 Ti that was supposed to be launching sometime later this year, which is now the further report that's coming out that the 5080 Ti or Super is supposed to hit before the end of 2025, and it could potentially be this new revamped 5090D. It's not quite clear how this is all going to shake out, especially as things like export restrictions are a moving target at this point. But considering it's significantly below the 5090 but above the 5080, this could be a good stopgap for shipping out over to China, but then also making it so that people here in the US get a 24 gig version of the RTX 5080. And that, as I will remind you, is supposed to launch alongside an RTX 5070 Super, which is going to be allegedly complete with 18 gigabytes of VRAM. You would love to see that. Hopefully you would love to see the price stay the same, but loving to see more VRAM happening. And you would also love to see with today's video sponsor. You ever watch Iron Man and think about how awesome having a Jarvis would be? Well, with today's sponsor, Inmo, this is becoming a reality. Inmo's newest and smartest set of specs are the Inmo Go Smart AR glasses. These bad boys not only have a nice sleek design for daily wear, but the internals to match, featuring a 30-degree field of view and 2,000 nits brightness. Inmo is a leader in the AR glasses market, so none of this should surprise you, but these frames are capable of real-time translation of up to 11 languages, covering 80 regions and countries, so you can always ask where a bathroom is. They're also integrated with ChatGPT, unlocking an intelligent AI assistant to help you with daily tasks and boost your productivity. And probably the most Jarvis of all is the smart teleprompter feature, which lets you speak and present without worrying about forgetting your words or looking down at your phone. And of course, the Inmo Go Smart AR glasses can easily pair with your mobile device to give you message notifications, hands-free phone control, and playback capabilities through the built-in speakers. And if you do want to use your hands though, the interfaces on the frames are super intuitive. You've got your power button that with a tap turns the screen on and off, with a short press turns the device on and off, and with a long press, resets your glasses. And then on the arm of the glasses, you'll also have gesture inputs like tapping to confirm, double tapping to skip, and long pressing to pause. Here you can also press the function button to activate voice control. So now, Mr. Stark isn't the only fella out there with some cool smart glasses. You can grab yourself a pair of the Inmo Go Smart AR glasses via the link in the description below. Thanks to Inmo for sponsoring today's video. Well, while the Inmo Go is great for being on the go, we now have reports coming out about the Switch 2 technical specs that show it's significantly worse on the go than it is docked, because Digital Foundry got an exclusive discussion from Nintendo about the hardware specifications. A lot of it is just confirming details that we already knew. GeekerOne had that video where they got their hands on the motherboard from the Nintendo Switch 2 and was able to basically discern all of the technical specifications that Digital Foundry was confirmed to by Nintendo. But Digital Foundry has a lot more detail than that, such as how it's going to perform while docked as well as undocked and a few other things. So you can see right here that the undocked performance of the Switch 2 is likely to be roughly half of what it is when it's docked, both in ray tracing performance, memory bandwidth, as well as clock speed on the GPU. But even still, it's a technical improvement from what the original Switch was, whether that's reserved CPU cores for the system or total amount of CPU cores or triple the amount of memory coming in with 12 gigabytes. And then it also has significantly more CUDA cores, 6 times as many, with 1,536 ampere cores being what's in this console. But when you add up all these specs together, you slap them onto a sheet, you compare them to a PC, and it looks like it's about equivalent to an RTX 2050, which was a low-end laptop GPU that came out nearly half a decade ago. So it's not on the bleeding edge of anything, and it's not necessarily the most impressive performance that we've seen in a gaming handheld, but as we saw with the original Switch, there's a lot of software wizardry that can go on when you're vertically integrated and you're controlling the operating system and you're controlling it so badly that you say that if you tweak it at all, they have the right to irreparably just brick your console. Turns out that type of control yields to a lot of software improvements. So this is likely to perform well above its weight class in terms of what it would on PC with all of that Windows overhead, but there's allegedly a lot of overhead when it comes to one of the main features that Nintendo is at least promoting with the Switch 2, which is their game chat that allows you to talk to your friends while you're playing video games. Digital Foundry says that it has a significant impact on system resources, so you were never going to use it anyway, more than likely. So if you want the Switch 2 performing as fast as possible, leave it docked and don't have friends. That's the way to do it. In case you do want to take it out on the go, it's supposed to be fairly good at performing. It's going to be significantly better than the original Switch. I'm just curious as to, you know, what it ends up shaking out to be once we can finally get our hands on it on June 5th. And when I can get my hands on Reece, I'm going to give him a hug because he gives you the tech deals. Also because I like the guy.
Yo, welcome back to UFD Deals, bringing the hottest tech deals out on the internet. Hope you guys are doing well. Now jump straight into the deals for you guys today. Starting off with the Zoomphone Stream Controller SE, which you can grab for only $49.99 with the coupon applied, making it $20 off for this little Stream Deck clone. But then next up we have a triple combo from Sticklemonster with their HAF 500 mid-tower ATX case, which comes bundled with a Hyper 212 Halo CPU air cooler and a 650 watt 80 plus gold power supply, which you can grab for only $149.99, making it $100 off this combo. A great way to start a new build. And then lastly today we have this LG Ultra Gear 27-inch 1440p 240Hz OLED gaming monitor, which you can grab for only $494.99 with included promo code, making it $405 off. And hey, with that, the deals are done. You can find these and more linked in the video description down below. But until next time, I'm gonna hand you off back to Brett for the rest of your hard news. Cheers.
Well, Reece, I usually tie this segue into something about deal. It's a big deal, it's a new deal, it's a thing deal, good deal, you need to save me money, all that kind of stuff. I don't have anything like that today. I just want to talk about the May 21st announcement that AMD has confirmed they're going to have at Computex. They showed off a graphics card that they are not going to sell. You'll see this right here, May 21st, 11 a.m. UTC plus 8. They're going to be talking about that. What's that? 9060 XT. What's that? Not available for purchase. Just like the reference edition that we had of the RX 9070 XT, you can't buy it. Even though people have actually gotten their hands on those reference edition cards on various classified sites, it's not going to be for us, but we do now have confirmation that next week is the time that we're going to be able to see this next-gen GPU from AMD. And some confirmation coming out from Intel, or at least teasing. They're just stringing us along. They're riding us along the edge of making sure that we are hyped enough for what's happening next week at Computex, with the B770 being the top of conversation. So let me set the scene for you here before we discuss a lot of what's going on. The B770 has been controversial for quite some time. I remember being at TwitchCon 2022 talking with the Intel GPU team about how tech YouTubers were already saying that that GPU was going to be completely canceled. And so there's been this rumor for roughly 2.5, almost 3 years, that the B770 was not going to exist, that Intel was not going to go for their higher end Battle Mage card, and instead they're just going to skip it and then deal with that in Celestial. So that's been the permeating idea throughout the zeitgeist of tech world right now. Then there were some shipping manifests that showed off, hey, this BG31 GPU might be a real thing. We might actually get a B770. However, you had outlets such as Video Card saying, we have no confirmed reports that there's gonna be a B770. Everything that we're seeing, there's nothing like that. The ARC B580 with 24 gigs of RAM, sure, there's a lot of indication that that's gonna be real, but the B770, not a lot of chatter going on behind the scenes. We have not seen basically anything beside a shipping manifest. So the thought on the street still was B770 still doesn't exist. Now you have Intel themselves over on Twitter replying to people who say that they need a B770 or they want a B770 or they want a B780, and then Intel saying a solid pick, stay tuned, stay tuned. Now that's a gamer with great taste. Stay tuned, stay tuned. Now it's not clear if this means that they're gonna launch a B770. There's so much indication over here, kind of muddying the waters as to whether or not that's actually gonna drop, or if they're just kind of hyping up people who are interested in their graphics at all and just being like, hey, don't forget about us, even though we're not gonna give you what you want. It appears to be some form of a marketing campaign. I'm personally hoping that the B770 is an actual real life breathing graphics card that's gonna hit the market hopefully sometime in 2025. Intel did not have to reply to any of this over on Twitter. The fact that they chose to, either a marketing intern is getting fired or they're gearing up to give us something that we definitely want. So we'll see how this plays out. We have about a week. It's happening as of Monday. Computex starts then. Don't know when Intel's gonna sprinkle out their stuff, but hopefully it's sooner rather than later. And I want to get to your comments sooner rather than later so that I can be done. Go play more Expedition 33. We got Egotistical. The CPU and GPU departments for AMD and Intel are complete opposites, both internally and externally. I don't really know much about the internals of AMD, haven't really worked with them directly, but externally, definitely see that. Betamax Flippy, great name, saying, bro is on the verge of crying for 13 minutes, 28 seconds. You're right. It's hard to get through these. And we got Interplay saying, give us Celestial, give us Druids, heck, give us several of them stacked together. We need your still affordable GPU magic now, more than ever, Intel. Interplay, I agree. And then we got Randomness662 saying the HX370 was such a game changer for me personally. I have the GPD Win 4 that has the APU, and I like to turn the TDP down to around 5 watts and keep the GPU at 800 megahertz clock at 720p, which is still plenty of pixels for the 6-inch screen. It can hit 45 to 60 FPS even in the most demanding games. Yes, even Black Myth. That TDP powered saving mode, airplane mode, 40% brightness and 30% volume. I hit a crazy good like 5-ish hours of battery life easy on my AAA games, and AMD has made something truly special here. And I'm so ready to see how much crazy I think space. That's so beautiful. I'm glad for you, Randomness. I'm glad for you. The Ferrari saying, I've never noticed Squall's Gunblade on the top left in the studio. That's pretty sick. It is. It's awesome. I love it. And then Ben Steinhauser saying, computer parts exist. UFD tech. Balling. All right. I'm gonna be done with this episode of Hot News, guys. I'll see you back here for more of the Hot News tomorrow.